Right on Newbury Street, between expensive brand stores such as Valentino and Bulgari, we found the Women's Lunch Place.
A place full of humble and helpful people with the purpose of helping women with struggles in the Boston area.
My name is Nancy Armstrong. I'm Senior Director of Operations and Programs at Women's Lunch Place, and I have been working here for over 13 years. So I come from a professional background in for-profit companies, and as I reached my twilight years, I really wanted to have an impact and work for an agency that really improved the futures and perhaps even policy for women experiencing hunger, homelessness, and poverty.
My name is Stacey Zeller. I'm the Wellness Program Navigator. I've been with the Lunch Place for just over 3 years now as a full-time employee. I was also in for-profit companies working for corporate restaurants. I got laid off, and then I started volunteering here, and it was kind of a life-changing experience. Just seeing what I take for granted in life, and how I can help the people here in Boston have a better life, even if it's just.
So the largest cohort of our population is homeless, and we know from research that women's main pathway to homelessness is actually domestic violence. So the women who have come here have pretty extensive trauma histories, and if they did not experience domestic violence, in their personal life before they became homeless, they certainly have, experienced violence on the streets and in shelters, and it's an unsafe environment for everyone, but women specifically.
Different advocates with different skill sets, and housing is the most important preventive help to do to guests, like with the quick housing. But from the kitchen, I used to work in the kitchen, and the food insecurity is the most important thing for me to make sure that we're doing within the day is fill the bellies up if we're going to eat. And it'll be like, what your tomorrow is going to be like. Anybody can end up here. And that's important to remember.
Yeah, and it's so good that you offer this, for people out there.
The bottom of the public health pyramid is safety.
Yeah.
So we offer safety and nutrition, and
that's so
people
important.
kind of work their way up from there.
Yeah, you offer a safe zone for women to come here and feel. Yeah, that's great.
Spreading the word is important. Getting the word out. Volunteering. Becoming part of the team.
Important to get the word out. It's wonderful to have people who come in here and volunteer, but not everybody can. So, there's so many different ways that you can help. You can, make a donation, which is wonderful. You can encourage your place of business to support us, but we also have, folks who do collections for coats and lip gloss, and lots of colleges do collections for feminine hygiene supplies and things like that are unique to women. So there's really, you name it, if you contact Women's Lunch Place, we can put you in touch with somebody who can give you a myriad of inventive ways that you can support our shelter without having to come in. The shelter is filled with people who have just experienced all the systematic racism and sexism against women, and women's voices are not heard. There is discrimination in homelessness as well. When there was the Long Island Bridge that was closed, the women got awful shelter, and men got the greater one. You just see these things happening over and over and over again. Because it is getting the word out is so much.
Yeah, that's true.
We got 67 homeless women housed last year. These are chronically unhoused, and that's a huge number.
We also visited the Center for Women's Health and Human Rights here at Suffolk.
My name is Amy Gigian. I am a tenured associate professor here at Suffolk in the Department of Sociology and Criminal Justice. I direct the Center for Women's Health and Human Rights, and I also am the executive director of Our Bodies, Ourselves Today. I've been at Suffolk since 1999. The Center for Women's Health and Human Rights is something that I founded in 2003. Place. It's an entity that enables research, teaching, activism, advocacy, and network building in the area of women's health and human rights. So it's human rights based, feminist, and we do a lot of cool things. Reproductive rights in the USA and the Boston area are two very different but related stories. So Massachusetts and Boston in particular are really are bastions of reproductive rights. We have reproductive rights protected in our state laws. As of this semester, medication abortion, meaning pills that you take to induce an abortion, are going to be available at every single state college. So not private schools like Suffolk, but UMass, Salem State, their reproductive rights are really protected in Massachusetts compared to almost anywhere else in the country. If you're on Mass Health, if you're low income or no income, you can still get an abortion. In terms of the country, it's hard to summarize, but I would just say it's really horrifying to see our rights be rolled back as women and other people who can become pregnant, who might be non-binary or trans men. It's really appalling to see that the anti-feminists have gained such power that they can literally strip away long established rights. Everyone should have a right to, by virtue of being human. It's an established human right. But unfortunately, that is not the law of the land anymore. And so, there are a lot of women and girls who can't get the health care that they need. And some of them have an unwanted pregnancy, some of them have a wanted pregnancy that didn't go well. Some of them are, for whatever reason they need it, they're not able to get it in their own community, and that is really a travesty. So what can Suffolk students do to help counter the whole rollback of rights in other states in the country? Well, one thing is a vote. So if you live in a red state, in a purple state, vote in that state, right? Don't just vote here, because we need those votes. I don't think I get cynical. I think I'm very realistic, which sometimes leads to despair, because, women are going to die, and girls, people are literally going to die from these laws, and people are going to become disabled, people are going to nearly die, people are going there's a lot of harm that's coming from this, and the people who are enacting these laws do not care. We've come a long way in 50 years, 60 years, 70, if you start, depending where your starting point is, if you look at it historically, it's scary, but it's not hopeless. So if you compare, it's like if you compare to what was happening in World War II, we're doing a lot better, right? We're doing a lot better. than what was happening in World War II, and the millions of murders and bombing, you know. I mean, there are a lot, like you saw in that movie, there are a lot of countries where abortion rights are growing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the whole, not only Ireland, right, but there are a lot of countries where women are getting more rights, which is how it should be, right? There are places where people are getting more health care. There are people where poverty is going down. There are communities where poverty is going down. You know, there are a lot of places where things are getting better. So I see it as like, you know, I just want everybody to get activated, you know, because that's our hope, right? Our hope is when people say, you know what, I can't do everything, but I'm gonna do something. Right? I would love to see Suffolk students explore, you know, all kinds of ideas and learn about history and learn about sociology and literature and everything else, math, whatever. I put math in there too. And feel empowered and feel like, yeah, I can do something, not by myself, but I can join forces with these other people in other countries too. We have to listen to them first. We can't impose something on people in other states. There are people on the ground who know what's going on, whether it's another country, whether it's, you know, Kansas. It's like, I don't know what's happening in Kansas. I might know a little bit. But if I want to help Kansas, I need to listen to the people actually living in Kansas who are doing the work, who know what the top priorities are, who know everything about it. And then if I want to support them, then I can ask them, how can I support you? We can work at the federal level, right? We can do national politics. We can work hard to try and elect to the federal government the people who share the values that we care about. So when that comes to abortion, or whether it comes to other issues that are really critically important too. So vote, obviously, but also there are all kinds of ways to get involved with campaigns during the election cycle. Suffolk does a lot of that. You know, there's like getting out the vote, there's calling people, there's sending postcards, there's just all kinds of things that people can do to get involved in like those, trying to get like the really bad misogynists out and somebody better in, is so important.